What if I told you the world's most dangerous theme park was just the beginning? From clone dinosaurs to mutant monsters, family drama to corporate sabotage, this is the wild, jaw-dropping journey of the entire Jurassic saga, leading up to the epic new chapter, Jurassic World Rebirth. Let's dive in. On the coast of Costa Rica sits Isla Sorna, and later a nearby island called Isla Nublar. But our story kicks off with the movie Jurassic Park, released in 1993 and set in that same year. Steven Spielberg directed the film, working from a script by David Koepp and Michael Crichton, based on Crichton's 1990 novel. Industrialist John Hammond, founder and CEO of InGen, or, as we'll learn later, co-founder with Benjamin Lockwood, has created a theme park packed with cloned dinosaurs on Isla Nublar. Working for Hammond is Dr. Henry Wu, played by B.D. Wong, who extracts dinosaur DNA from a mosquito trapped in amber. By splicing those DNA fragments with modern animals like frogs, lizards, and other reptiles and amphibians, they're able to reverse engineer dinosaurs. Since the park has had past security issues, especially with the hard-to-contain velociraptors, which led to some costly lawsuits from grieving families, John Hammond tries to reassure his investors. He brings in paleontologists Dr. Alan Grant, Sam Neill, and Dr. Ellie Sattler, Laura Dern, who've worked at dig sites, scaring the crap out of one particular kid. They're joined by eccentric mathematician and chaos theorist Dr. Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum, and attorney Donald Gennaro to tour the park and hopefully endorse it. Also visiting the park are Hammond's grandkids, Lex, Ariana Richards, and Tim, Joseph Mazzello, both of whom quickly bond with Alan. Hammond's team also includes game warden Muldoon, chief engineer Ray Arnold, and computer programmer Dennis Nedry. Hammond underpays Nedry, which leads him to make a deal with Louis Dodgson, annoyed. Yep, Dodgson. We got Dodgson here, who works for InGen's corporate rival, Biosyn. Nedry sabotages the park's security system so he can steal frozen dinosaur embryos. This, combined with a tropical storm and other malfunctions, causes the tour groups to get stuck on the track while the dinosaurs break out of their enclosures, starting with the T-Rex outside its paddock. It's one of the scariest and most iconic scenes in movie history. I actually did a deep dive on this film over on our other channel. Spielberg softened Hammond from the greedy villain he was in Crichton's book, giving him a sympathetic flea circus monologue, because Spielberg saw himself in the character as a bringer of thrills and magic. He specifically cast Richard Attenborough, who had beaten Spielberg at the 1983 Oscars. Nedry gets killed by a Dilophosaurus, and his stolen samples get buried in the mud. The lawyer dies, Ray dies, Muldoon dies, but Alan makes it back with the kids. The kids get stalked by velociraptors in the kitchen, but they're all saved by the T-Rex, later called Rexy, who chomps a raptor so hard it disappears for a frame. Cue the "When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth" banner. By the end, everyone agrees Jurassic Park should be shut down. But off-screen, Dodgson successfully retrieves the stolen embryos and will go on to become the CEO of Biosyn. Between Jurassic Park and its sequel, Ian Malcolm goes public about InGen's cloning experiments and the disaster at Jurassic Park. However, the company discredits him since he has no proof that living dinosaurs exist. Now onto The Lost World, Jurassic Park, also directed by Spielberg and written by David Koepp, based on Crichton's 1995 follow-up novel. It's 1997, and a British girl vacationing with her family on Isla Sorna is attacked by a group of compies, leading John Hammond's nephew Peter Ludlow to oust him and take control of InGen. The company's second facility, Site B on Isla Sorna, was where the dinosaurs were originally cloned, but it was abandoned after a hurricane years earlier. Ludlow wants to exploit the island's dinosaurs to save InGen as a company. Hammond reconnects with Ian Malcolm to document the dino's existence so the public won't interfere. Ian agrees since his girlfriend, Dr. Sarah Harding, Julianne Moore, a behavioral paleontologist, is already on the island and he wants to get her out. Joining Ian are Vince Vaughn as Nick, Richard Schiff as Eddie, and Ian's daughter Kelly, who hides in the trailer. Uh-oh. They end up rescuing a baby T-Rex. Big mistake because now its parents show up and nearly kill everyone. The scientists and bounty hunters have to work together, but they all get ambushed by velociraptors. The survivors escape the island and end up in San Diego, where Ludlow plans to open a new park on the mainland. But the ship carrying the T-Rex crashes into the docks, and the T-Rex goes on a rampage through San Diego. They use the baby to lure the adult, Malcolm tranks it, and all the dinosaurs are shipped back to Isla Sorna, which is declared a nature reserve. InGen is bought by the Masrani Corporation off-screen, and they're forced to stop all genetic cloning experiments. Now on to Jurassic Park 3 in 2001, directed by Joe Johnston, longtime Lucasfilm artist who also directed Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Jumanji, and later Captain America: The First Avenger for Marvel. Alan Grant is back when he's approached by Paul and Amanda Kirby, a seemingly wealthy couple asking for a tour of Isla Sorna. Turns out they're not rich, they're divorced and just looking for their son, Eric, a name you'll hear about 20 times in this movie. Eric got lost while parasailing with Amanda's boyfriend, Ben. Isla Sorna looks different in this film because they shot in Hawaii instead of... After Jurassic Park 3, the series took a break, but when it returned with Jurassic World in 2015, a lot had changed in-universe. The Jurassic World amusement park opened on Isla Nublar, the original park's location, in 2005. The park, once again, featured dinosaurs cloned by Dr. Henry Wu, the mastermind behind the original experiments for InGen. After several years of peaceful operation, the public grew bored with Jurassic World. So in 2012, Masrani Corporation CEO Simon Masrani orders Dr. Wu to create a new creature as a PR stunt. 3 years later, he succeeds, which brings us to the events of Jurassic World in 2015. Directed by Colin Trevorrow, this movie became Universal's highest-grossing film ever, which is why we're still getting sequels. Haha. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes of a new Rockstar's production that you don't see, and a surprising amount of it is just us talking about food. We have not one but 2 dedicated food Slack channels. We love food, but when you don't have time to cook, it can be tough to eat what you love, unless you use Factor. Henry Wu completes work on the Indominus Rex, designed to reignite public interest in the park. The Indominus Rex is a mutant dinosaur made from DNA of many species, including T-Rex, Velociraptor, and even cuttlefish, which lets it camouflage. This is a big shift for the franchise. It's the first time we see dinosaurs created specifically for the movie, not based on fossils. This is especially relevant for Jurassic World Rebirth, where we'll see another genetically mutated monster, the Distortus Rex. In an interview with Vanity Fair, director Gareth Edwards said the D-Rex and other mutant dinos in the new film were failed experiments from the attempts to create the Indominus Rex and Indoraptor. So even a decade later, we're still seeing the effects of Dr. Wu's genetic tampering. Jurassic World follows raptor trainer Owen Grady, Chris Pratt, and his favorite raptor, Blue, plus park operations manager Claire Deering and her nephews, Zach and Gray, who get stuck with Claire's poor assistant Zara, who gets a horrifying death by pterosaurs and a mosasaurus, after a fun Jimmy Buffett cameo. Chaos erupts when the Indominus Rex breaks out, freeing pteranodons and dimorphodons, which attack park visitors. Security Chief Vic Hoskins, Vincent D'Onofrio, sends the raptors to hunt the Indominus, but since it has raptor DNA, it becomes their alpha. Simon Masrani tries to stop the Indominus, but dies in a helicopter crash. Claire releases Rexy and runs in heels to lure her into fighting the Indominus. Blue teams up with Rexy, cornering the Indominus at the lagoon, where the Mosasaurus grabs it. Nom nom nom. Jurassic World is shut down, and Isla Nublar is abandoned again. 6 months later, in the opening of Fallen Kingdom, a mercenary team heads to Isla Nublar and gets attacked by the T-Rex and Mosasaurus, which escapes to the open ocean. This big guy will return in Jurassic World Rebirth. Claire has left InGen and by 2017 founded the Dinosaur Protection Group to save the stranded dinosaurs. Now we're at 2018's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, directed by J.A. Bayona. Mount Sibo, a volcano, is about to erupt on Isla Nublar. Dr. Ian Malcolm testifies before the Senate that they should let the dinosaurs die. Hammond's old partner and InGen co-founder Benjamin Lockwood, James Cromwell, recruits Claire and Owen to help relocate the dinosaurs to Lockwood Sanctuary in Northern California. The team includes Franklin, a former park tech, paleo vet Zia, and mercenaries led by Wheatley. Yep, that guy from Silence of the Lambs. They find Blue and get some dinosaurs out as the volcano erupts, but leave one sad Brachiosaurus on the docks. Ugh, so sad. We learn Lockwood pursued human cloning to replace his dead daughter, which led to the creation of Maisie, a human clone. Even weirder, Charlotte Lockwood not only provided the DNA for Maisie, but also carried and birthed her, meaning she gave birth to her own clone. Lockwood is betrayed and murdered by his business partner Eli Mills, who plans to auction the dinosaurs at Lockwood Manor, including Dr. Wu's latest creation, the Indoraptor, a dino made by splicing raptor DNA into the Indominus Rex, even though that already had raptor DNA. The Indoraptor escapes and goes on a rampage, but Blue takes it down. Mills gets devoured by Rexy, who is now definitely the franchise's true star. Claire, Owen, and Maisie escape as chaos erupts and the auction guests are attacked by the freed dinosaurs. By the end, dinosaurs have spread out from Lockwood Manor all over the world, and Dr. Ian Malcolm declares the start of the Neo-Jurassic period. A year after Fallen Kingdom came a 10-minute short film, Battle at Big Rock, directed by Colin Trevorrow. It's actually really good and worth watching if you have time. Now, on to Jurassic World Dominion, released in 2022. This is 4 years after Fallen Kingdom, and now dinosaurs live alongside humans and other animals as part of our ecosystem. Owen and Claire are keeping Maisie safe from Biosyn, the company behind the original embryo theft. Dodgson is back as CEO, now played by Campbell Scott. Also returning are Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Dr. Ian Malcolm. Henry Wu is still around. BD Wong is the most recurring actor in the franchise. Dr. Wu regrets creating yet another genetic disaster, this time a swarm of giant locusts, unleashed by Dodgson because Biosyn makes genetically engineered crops. The locusts are designed to eat all crops except Biosyn's. The old and new casts team up to stop the locust plague and succeed. Rexy returns, takes down the Giganotosaurus, and meets Buck and Doe, the T-Rexes from the Lost World. Jurassic World Rebirth is set 5 years after Dominion, so we're now in the future. Thoughtful, directed by Gareth Edwards, Godzilla, Rogue One, and written by returning screenwriter David Cope, Earth's environment has become inhospitable to most dinosaurs and other de-extinct animals. The survivors now live in remote tropical locations, similar to their original habitats. Zora Bennett, Scarlett Johansson, a covert operative, is recruited by Parker Genix, a pharmaceutical company represented by Martin Krebs, Rupert Friend, to work with paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis, Jonathan Bailey, a character teased as important since the early films, and team leader Duncan Kincaid, Mahershala Ali, on a top-secret mission. A year after Fallen Kingdom came a 10-minute short film, Battle at Big Rock, directed by Colin Trevorrow. It's actually really good and worth watching if you have time. Now, on to Jurassic World Dominion, released in 2022. This is 4 years after Fallen Kingdom, and now dinosaurs live alongside humans and other animals as part of our ecosystem. Owen and Claire are keeping Maisie safe from Biosyn, the company behind the original embryo theft. Dodgson is back as CEO, now played by Campbell Scott. Also returning are Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Dr. Ian Malcolm. Henry Wu is still around. BD Wong is the most recurring actor in the franchise. Dr. Wu regrets creating yet another genetic disaster, this time a swarm of giant locusts unleashed by Dodgson because Biosyn makes genetically engineered crops. The locusts are designed to eat all crops except Biosyn's. The old and new casts team up to stop the locust plague and succeed. Rexy returns, takes down the Giganotosaurus, and meets Buck and Doe, the T-Rexes from the Lost World. Jurassic World Rebirth is set 5 years after Dominion, so we're now in the future. Directed by Gareth Edwards, Godzilla, Rogue One, and written by returning screenwriter David Koepp, Earth's environment has become inhospitable to most dinosaurs and other de-extinct animals. The survivors now live in remote tropical locations similar to their original habitats. Zora Bennett, Scarlett Johansson, a covert operative, is recruited by Parker Genix, a pharmaceutical company represented by Martin Krebs, Rupert Friend, to work with paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis, Jonathan Bailey, a character teased as important since the early films, and team leader Duncan Kincaid, Mahershala Ali, on a top-secret mission.